Okay, today's recording is going to go over how to set up a point of sale. Part 1 will be setting up point of sales for employees in existing markets. Part 2 will be setting up point of sales for employees in new markets. Let's get started. First, navigate to the inventory module. Then search for point of sale. Open up the main point of sale. Hit More, Settings, and then discard Edit Mode. From here, duplicate this point of sale. The first person that we'll be setting up today is for Sam Omar in the Southeast market. Rename this to match the employee name, Point of Sale Orders, Sam Omar. Then pick a warehouse to match that employee. Sam Omar belongs to Southeast Market, so we're going to update the warehouse to Southeast Market. Then set the default location to be Sam Omar's stock location. In this example, his stock location was different than his name a little bit. So here it's Salah Omar, here it's Sam Omar. These locations would have been set up during the warehouse setup phase. Save your progress. And now we're going to set up a reference sequence for Sam Omar. Click on the existing picking type and then also duplicate it. Rename that to match the employee's name and then pick the matching company. Again, Sam Omar belongs to the Southeast market. Save it and use your breadcrumbs to go back. From here, update this to be Sam Omar. Hit save. Now that this has been created, we're going to create the actual point of sale. To get to the point of sale, navigate to the point of sale application and then click on the list view. Create your new point of sale. Name it after the employee. Save your progress. Now hit Edit and pick your type. And if you notice, you will not see Sam Omar point of sale until the very bottom because we just created it. Pick the company to match the market. And then pick the sales journal, which we would have created during the accounting setup, to match the market. You'll notice that when you had your picking type, the stock location was automatically updated, and your invoice journal would already exist for that market. Scroll down, and in this option, we are going to open Display Category Pictures. And then last step is to add the payment type. Then hit Save. We have now created a point of sale for Sam Omar in a market that already exists. I'm going to run through that one more time. This time we'll set up William Albrook. So start by opening your inventory module and searching for point of sale. Picking type, point of sale. Find the main picking type, hit More, Settings, and then discard Edit Mode and duplicate. It's very important that you remember to discard and duplicate, otherwise you'll be editing an existing picking type, which you don't want to do. Name the point of sale, save your progress, make sure you make the company name match or the warehouse name match. Look for his stock location and hit save. Open reference sequence And again, you want to duplicate it and rename it to the new employee and make sure the company name matches. Hit save. Use your breadcrumbs to go back and update the picking type to William Albrook. Now that this picking type has been created, go back into point of sale, open up your list view, and create a new point of sale. I'm going to name my point of sale after the employee. Make sure your picking type matches the employee that we just created, point of sale, William. The stock location was automatically loaded. Match the company name. Match the sales journal to the company. Match the invoice to the company. Display your category pictures and add an existing company payment method and hit save. Now we're going to go on to part 2, which is creating a point of sale for a new market. In the previous setup, we would have already had the locations created, the point of sale journals for the market created, and the payment methods for the market created. For a new market, unless you've already gone through those steps and set them up, as we create the new point of sale, we will also simultaneously create the new point of sale journal for that market and a new payment method for that market. Our examples are going to be Geith and Meerweiss. Same as last process, you'll go through the inventory app. You'll search for point of sale. In your point of sale order, you'll hit More, Settings, discard the edit mode, and then duplicate it. Rename this to the employee and hit Save for progress. We're going to go back through and add the company name. And in this case, we know that Geith is part of Michigan, Ohio, Michigan. And his location would have been set up already. I'm going to hit Search and More and look for Michigan. And pick their stock location, which is Detroit. And hit Save. Open the picking type, duplicate it, and rename it to match the employee. Make sure the company matches. Detroit, hit Save. I'm going to use my breadcrumbs to go back here. And I'm also going to update this to be Detroit instead of Michigan. That was my mistake. Make sure that Create New Serial Lots Numbers is not checked and hit Save. Now I'm going to navigate to Point of Sale. Open my list view and create. Name your point of sale after the employee and choose the new picking type. Make sure the company name matches. And at this point, there will be no sales journal created for the Detroit market yet. So I'm going to save my progress. It actually will not let me save the progress. So let me reset that. I'm going to discard. And this is why it's a little easier to make sure that the journals and the payment methods are set up before you start creating your point of sale. So let me start that over. I'm going to save my progress this time so that it's already here. I'm going to go into journals. You can navigate to journals by going to Accounting, Configuration, Journals. I'm going to search for point of sale and find the main market. Then I'm going to duplicate it. Change the company name. And update the journal name. And create a shortcode. I'm going to save my progress. I'm going to edit again. I'm going to delete the debit account. I'm going to delete the credit account. In this case, I'm going to search for 2000 because that is the existing journal name for product sales, and find the journal sale associated with Detroit. Because I deleted both of them before, it'll auto-load the product sales associated with Detroit in both fields. I'm going to save my progress. Edit. The entry sequence, you'll notice, does not match the company anymore. So I'm going to open that. I'm going to edit it. I'm going to make the name as well as the company match. And then save it. I'm going to use my breadcrumbs to go back to Sales Journal. Verify one more time that the name, the company, the company, the company, and the company all match. I'm going to go back over to my point of sale that I started and edit it. Load the matching employee picking type. Load my company. And load my new sales journal. Point of sale sales journal for the company that I just created, which is not going to show up because we just created it in another window and I need to refresh. So I'm going to discard my changes, refresh the window, and edit. And there's my new one that I made. You'll see the stock location was automatically updated, and the customer invoice journal will have already existed from the original accounting setup. I'm going to display the category pictures and hit save my progress. You'll notice now that if I try to add a payment method, there is no payment method for Detroit yet. So to do that, I'm going to go to Point of Sale in another tab. I'm going to go into Configuration and pick Payment Methods. I'm going to use the main to then duplicate. And I'm going to change the company name to Detroit. I'm also going to rename this journal name to match the company name and update my shortcode. Save. I'm going to edit it one more time. I'm going to delete both the debit and the credit accounts. I'm going to search again and find the associated product sales for Detroit. Save my progress. I'm going to notice here that the entry sequence shows up as this, which does not match the market. I'm going to open it. I'm going to edit it. Update to match the market. Update the name to match the market. Hit save. Use my breadcrumbs to go back. You notice now that the name, the company, the debit account, and the entry sequence all match Detroit. I'm going to go back over to the point of sale, and this time I'm going to refresh before I hit edit to load the changes that I just made. Edit, payment method, and you'll now see that there's a cash payment method for the Detroit market. Save. I'm going to go through that same task one more time, and we're going to create a point of sale for Mirwas, whose location is St. Louis. To reiterate, our first step is to create a picking type. We do that by navigating to Inventory, searching for point of sale, finding the main point of sale, hitting More, Settings, discarding Edit Mode, and duplicating. I'm going to name this after the employee. I'm going to save my progress. I'm going to go back in now and look for the St. Louis picking type that is associated with Mirwas. I'm going to update the company type, warehouse name, and then hit save. I'm going to update and create a new reference sequence associated with this. Click here, duplicate, rename, and make sure the company name matches. Hit save. Use my breadcrumbs to go back to the picking type, and then update the picking type to the new point of sale for Mirwas, and hit save. I'm going to start my point of sale by going to point of sale, refreshing so that I have all new options. Go to my list mode, hit create, point of sale, and the employee name, and save my progress. Because I know this is a new market, there is no journal set up for this market yet. I'm going to recreate a journal by going into the accounting module and then going to configuration journals and searching for point of sale. I'm going to find the main point of sale. I'm going to duplicate it, create a company name, update the name of the journal to match the company, and update the short code. And hit save for progress. I'll have to update the entry sequence, edit, Mirwas is part of St. Louis, update the journal name, and hit save. Use my breadcrumbs to go back, and you'll notice that St. Louis, need to do my debit and my credit accounts, so I'm going to hit edit, delete both fields, search in more, look for that debit account. Both of them loaded. Verify one more time. St. Louis, St. Louis, St. Louis, St. Louis. And now my journal is created. Now I can go back into my point of sale for Mirwas, edit, pick his new picking type, update the company name, pick the sales journal that we just created, which we forgot to refresh, so it's not there. I'm going to discard my changes, refresh to load the new items, edit, Update the company name. Now I have my point of sale journal for St. Louis. Load my customer invoice, which had already been loaded for St. Louis. Add my display category pictures and hit save. Again, we have not created a payment method yet. So I'm going to go into payment methods. This is payment methods for point of sale. Open my point of sale module, configuration, payment methods. Find the main payment method. I'm going to duplicate it. Change the company name. Update the journal name. Delete the debit and the credit accounts. For cash, update my short code, and hit save. Now I'm going to update the entry sequence to make sure it matches the company name. And then hit save. Use my breadcrumbs to go back. In the previous example, I think I loaded the wrong debit credit account. So you'll notice it's supposed to be 101501 for cash, which is the default number in the ERP for the cash account. So very quickly, I'm going to go back into my payment methods. I'm going to edit Detroit and delete both of those. And update those to the Detroit. Save. So now we have our payment method for Detroit, and we have our payment method for St. Louis. I'm going to go back over to the point of sale and refresh to load my new payment method. Edit, add the new payment method, and hit save. That is the end of this training. Thank you very much.